So let us start our session. So basically, when it comes to civil service preparation, one of the most challenging area for the preparation is newspaper reading. So why I am saying challenging area? It is because of the confusion that we have. Okay, we are confused about many things. Which newspaper to read? That's a confusion that we have. Another confusion is like, okay, we have a lot of news in the paper. So what all news I should read? That is another confusion. Okay, another one is like how to take notes effectively from the newspaper. Another one. Okay, so based on newspaper itself, you have many confusion. And one more thing is like when you are reading English newspapers like Hindu or the Indian Express, you can see that you will take some time because if you are not used to it, definitely you are going to take some time to read it. Okay, because you may not understand certain words, certain terminologies. You may have to look into the dictionary. So these will take time. Okay, these activities will definitely take time. And what happens is like you will fed up after some time. You will fed up, and you're also confused. Okay, should I go into the details of all these things? So all these will, remain as a confusion for you. So this session, particularly this session, is for clearing those doubts. And you all are part of the Tejas scholarship program, and it is very important for you to understand in the beginning stage itself, before starting your preparation itself, you need to have very proper understanding regarding how to read the newspaper. It is the must know activity. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you might have gone through the effective techniques for civil service preparation, and that we have clearly mentioned about all these things. Today, I'll give you step-by-step process or the step-by-step idea in which how to approach the newspaper. Okay, so please make sure that you take notes in this particular session, and I will also show you one example. Okay, I'll also show you with certain examples also. Okay, with the help of a newspaper, I can tell you how to look into the newspaper, how to read the news effectively. Okay, let me share the screen. So newspaper reading tips. So this is basically the tips for reading newspaper, effective tips for reading newspaper. Okay. So first one, when you are in front of the newspaper, when you are taking the newspaper for the preparation part, make sure that you are very clear about your purpose. Okay. So what is that purpose? You are preparing for the UPSC examination. You are not like a normal reader. That's very important. A normal reader can actually read any news in that. Any news is actually important for that person. Any news is information for that person. But for a civil service aspirant, not all news are information. Not all news are relevant for you. So that intention you need to have. That purpose you need to identify. And with that purpose only, you have to approach the newspaper. Very important. Okay? Always read with a UPSC mindset. Always read with a UPSC mindset and focus on general studies topics. Okay, like you know the subjects in the general studies like polity, economy, environment, geography, international relations, okay, disaster management. So many subjects. So based on those subjects only, you should be taking the news. You should be choosing the that should be there in your mind. And one major aspect, people may be confused about okay whether I should read about the entertainment part, like there will be news about Hollywood or Bollywood or maybe news like that. Should I read about it? No, absolutely not. Should I read about the gossips of the controversies? No, not at all required. Should I read about irrelevant news? So now the question comes: what is this irrelevant news? How do you identify this irrelevant news? Okay, so that is a very important question for you. How do you identify irrelevant news? So when you are identifying irrelevant news, you are very clear about the relevant news. Okay, so that's my question here. How will you identify what is needed and not needed? Can somebody put it in the chat section? How do you identify, or how will you identify what is required and what is not required? How will you identify what is relevant and not relevant? How will you identify that? Can anybody tell me? You can put it in the chat section. Yes. How will you identify? which is relevant or not, which is needed or not. How do you identify that? According to the exam point of view, according to the exam point of view, is that the correct one? What about others? What do you think? Okay, if we are specifically going into that exam point of view, what is that exam point of view? What document can clearly tell you the exam point of view? Respond. Which document can clearly tell you the exam point of view? Very good. Syllabus. Okay. Syllabus is the most important document or the most important resource through which you can identify which news is relevant and which news is not relevant. Very, very important to understand this. Very important to understand this. Okay. So let's start from there. Syllabus understanding. Okay. So I hope you have gone through the effective techniques and the effective strategies for UPSC preparation. And in that one particular topic is identifying syllabus, understanding the syllabus. How many of you have gone through that? Understanding syllabus part, understanding syllabus part. Okay. So once you understand the syllabus, once you know about the syllabus, once you are very clear about what is there in each general study subject based on the syllabus, then you do not require any help because you know what is required and what is not required. Okay. See, this will clearly tell you the priority areas. So what is required? Okay. The first one, in all newspapers you take, you can see that the first page, the front page of that newspaper will be portraying the most important national issues or the international issues. The most important. They'll be portraying that. Sometimes there will be controversies coming there. Okay. But just leave controversies. All kinds of political blame games or controversies or gossip, just leave that. Apart from that, the topics which are of national and international importance is very relevant. So always go to the front page. And the most important area is the editorial page and op-ed page. Very important. Okay. Editorial page. In editorial page, you can see analysis. Now, I have got a lot of questions regarding this one. So why should I read editorial? What help it is going to make? Because it is taking too much time to read the editorial. This is a common doubt among many students or many aspirants. So why I'm telling you, know, you have to read editorial. When you are reading editorial, when you are going through the editorial, you will get a holistic idea about what is that particular problem. And the approach in which they are writing the editorial is very important. What is the issue? The history of that issue will be analyzed. The pros and cons about that issue will be analyzed. What are the after effects of that particular issue will be analyzed. So you can see that from multiple perspectives they are looking at that particular topic. So this is important for you because as a civil service aspirant, you should not be biased. Okay, related to any news, you should not be biased. You should have a comprehensive idea about a particular news. Okay, so how will you develop that? Every day when you are reading the newspaper, no, when you're reading the editorial, you will get that quality, you will get that skill. Okay, how can you look at from various perspectives, from various points? Okay, that is important. Different opinions or different perspectives regarding a particular article is very important. Particular topic is very important. That is the reason why you have to read editorials. And another thing is like you will get the skill of writing because the words they are actually using, the sentences they are framing, the opinions they are actually creating, all these things will have its own effect on your writing pattern. So when you're writing the answers for the mains or for the essays, you can see that this is going to help you. So definitely you have to read editorial. Now polity and governance, very important. You cannot neglect polity and governance because in every day's news you can see news related to polity and governance. So if there is a news related to the bills, if there is a news related to a new act, a new scheme, a new judgment, okay, like something related to Supreme Court, something related to High Court, something related to Parliament, make sure that you go through it. Parliamentary committees or lawmaking process, make sure you go through it because it's important. Something related to elections, you have to go through it. But on the other hand, you can also see that political leaders, they will have their own opinions or their own conflict of interest with other parties. They will actually say it through the media, through newspapers and all. You don't need to read that. If you want to know about what is happening around in the politics, you can actually go through it. But from the point of view of UPSC examination, as a UPSC aspirant, you should not go through that. You can go through, but if you are going through that, no, you will lose a lot of time. So make sure that what is relevant should be identified from the polity and governance page. So that is what I am telling you. Bills. Okay, a new bill is actually introduced in the parliament. You read about it. A new act is actually passed by the parliament. You read about it. Okay, there is a news regarding the parliamentary committees. Read about it. There is a news regarding president. Read about it. There is a news regarding elections. Read about it. There is a new scheme announced. Read about it. There are certain news related to the Supreme Court, High Court, and the various judgments or the writs they have actually come up with. All these things are important. Okay, make sure that you read it. Quality and governance. Now coming to the next subject, that is the economy part. RBI, Reserve Bank of India. What are the new policies of RBI? So what is the present bank rate or the repo rate or the what we can say CRR, SLR? So you just need to understand about it because you are actually studying it in the syllabus. And what about the inflation that is happening? What about the budget? What are the detailings of the budget? What are certain reports? Okay, reports which are actually submitted by certain economic organizations and also some international economic organizations. All those things you need to have an idea. It's very important. Without any compromise, you make sure that you understand about these kinds of topics. Okay, you select only these kinds of topics. RBI, SEBI, inflation, budget, reports. These news are relevant for you, very important for you. You have to read about it. Now coming to the international relations, you know about international relations, what is happening around in the world, in the international system. So what is the most important one? India's relations with other countries, the bilateral relations with other countries, the multilateral forums, okay, certain international organizations and their meetings or their sessions. You can read about it. And now we can see that war is going on between various countries. What are the updates regarding that? No need to go into the details of it. Okay, where they are actually bombing and all those things are not required for you. But what is the reason for this war? That you need to understand. That is very, very important for you. Okay, so we're talking about the international relations, very important international relations, the world wars, something related with the bilateral relations, something related with there is an agreement which is signed between India and another country. So all those kinds of news are important for you. And now, when you're looking at international news, now make sure that you go through the atlas. Okay, an atlas or a globe is really important for you. So, what is the relevance of an atlas? Because in UPSC, there are questions related to the location of certain places. Now, war is going on between Israel, Palestine, Iran, or America. All these countries are involved there. On the other side, you can also see that Ukraine and Russia is in war. So, what is the location of these places in the map, the world map? You need to have an idea. So, where do you get that information? You will get it from the atlas. So, make sure that you buy an atlas with you. It's very, very important. Oxford School Atlas is there, no? You can actually buy that. Okay, or else what we will do, we will be sending you the link for atlas from Amazon. We can buy that. Okay, we will send you the link for that. You can actually buy it and keep it with you always. When you're reading a newspaper, make sure that you go through it. Or if you have an atlas which you have already used in the school days, no, if you have that, just use that. You don't need to buy a new one. Or if you get it from one of your friends, get it from them. No problem. Okay, so make sure that you have an atlas or a map, okay, to identify this place. Now coming to environment, like we are going through a very tough stage in the case of the environment aspects, climate change, biodiversity issues, global warming. So any news related to these things are important for us. any news, biodiversity, hotspots. Okay, there are news related to biosphere reserves, wildlife, wildlife or national parks. Okay, wildlife sanctuaries. All these things are important for you. So because it is actually a part of the environment. And apart from that, you have to read about if there is a landslide happening, natural calamities. You have to go through it. You have to understand about it because that can definitely be a question for you. Okay, they are not going to ask you questions like how many people died in an earthquake. They are not going to ask you, but they will have questions related to what is this earthquake? Okay, what impact it is actually creating, or what we can do, okay, to as a part of evacuating people from a particular place, or if you are getting the information prior to this particular thing, what you can actually do, what are the steps that you can take, okay, what are the precautions that you can actually take, all this information. So, who is in charge during a national calamity? Who is in charge of administration? These types of information is relevant for you. So, make sure that you read about it. Now, these are all okay. But if you can understand what is not relevant, if you can understand what you should avoid, then it is very simple. Because then you can actually go into the details of the what is the required one. Crime news, not important for you. Okay, crime news, details related to, murders or something like that, which is actually happening in the or coming in the newspapers and media, it is not required for you. But if there is an act related to, if there is a crime records bureau, they are talking about some changes in the policies of crime records bureau, or something like that, IPC or something like that, then definitely you need to have an idea about it. You have to go through it. Then political blame games, I've already told you that there are a lot of controversies going on presently in our country, okay, related with various political parties. They blame other party and they blame the opposition. They blame the prime minister. They blame the other ministers. They blame the political party members. So all these things are happening. Okay, you don't need to understand about it because you do not require that in the examination. Celebrity news. Okay, people are more, very much fond of understanding about what is happening in a celebrity's life. It is not required for us. Gossips, not at all required for us. So make sure that if you understand what you need to avoid, it is very easy. Then it is easy for you to understand what is required. Okay, it's very important. Now, time management. Okay, like when you read newspaper, especially a newspaper like Hindu or Indian Express, you can see that people complain about the time they are investing on that reading newspaper. They may say like, okay, it is taking 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours for actually completing this newspaper. First thing that you need to understand, you don't need to complete the newspaper. You just need to read only relevant ones. So what are these relevant ones? Based on what we have discussed already, based on the understanding related to the syllabus, from among 1,150 news, you may have to read at least around 20 or maximum 15 to 20 news only is relevant for you. That understanding you need to have. Initially, for covering all these 15 to 20 news also, you may take around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Initially, the beginning stages, if you are new to reading this newspaper, it may take 1 hour, 1.5 hours to 2 hours. But when the practice goes on, when you continue this practice, the time will come down and you will be able to complete the newspaper and not making within 60 minutes or 1 hour to 1.5 hour maximum. You'll be able to do that. So that you need to achieve. So here I already mentioned that set a strict time limit 50, 45 to 60 minutes. Maybe in the initial time it is not possible. But maybe after some time, after practicing for around 2 to 3 months, you can see that it will change. You will be able to manage your time effectively. So one thing that you need to understand is avoid overreading. You don't need to overread anything. Just go into the details of that particular list and what is required for you, just get it. And you have to do some research also. I'm not saying that you should not do research. You have to do certain researches. Okay, if you don't understand what is actually given there, no, just Google it because everything is available there, no, with us right now. We have AI tools or we have Google. Just try to Google it and understand about it. Very important. Now, how do you get that connect with this newspaper? That is also important. Like when you're getting the newspaper in the morning, how can you make that connect with the newspaper? That is also important. So first thing that you need to do, is just go through the entire newspaper within 5 to 10 minutes. I say you should not take 5 minutes, maximum 5 to 6 minutes. You need to scan the newspaper. So while scanning, you will understand what all news are required for you, how many news you need to cover. That is a very good activity. And it will actually act as a magnet for you. Okay, without losing your interest in reading the newspaper, no, like it will hold you. That understanding, that overview about that particular newspaper will help you and act as a magnet for you to read this entire news relevant for you. Then prioritize high value sections. Like you already told, what are the priority areas. So based on those priority areas, whatever news are actually coming in the newspaper, make sure that you read it. Prioritize high value topics. Limit not making time 15 to 20 minutes. That is also important. Two ways you can actually do. You can go through the entire newspaper and then start making the news, or otherwise, while going through a particular article itself, make news about it. And not making is not essay writing. It just points only. Okay. After the points, after making the notes, when you're looking at that your notes, you should be able to recollect that information with that limited writing, or with that bullet points. You should be able to recollect that whole picture. That should be the note making. I'm not saying that you have to write like an essay. No, because if you're writing like an essay, you may have to read only two or three news, and you'll be able to read within 1 hour or 2 hours. So please don't do that. Make sure that you not making is important, but that not making is also an act. It's an art. Okay. So make sure that you spend less time for not making. What is relevant, only you write. Not write the entire news article. Okay. Then have a fixed daily slot. That is also important. Read at the same time every day. That will also help you, because it's like a practice. Like if you are a cricket player, you will be having net practice, no, and you have a stipulated time for that. You will be going for that. If you are a dancer, your dance classes will be on a specific time. If you are a musician, your music classes will be on a specific time. And if you are going to school, the school has a specific time for teach. For all these activities which require consistent effort, should have a time slot. Okay, all activities which requires consistent effort, it has a time slot. And if you fix that time slot, automatically your brain will be wired. Okay, morning 7 to 8 is for this newspaper reading only. That is wired. So every day you will tend to read newspaper. So make sure that you choose a time, maybe in the morning or maybe in the evening, based on your convenience. I'm not saying that you have to read only in the morning. You all have your own convenience, your own special times for actually studying. So make sure that you identify that time and just dedicate that time for newspaper reading. Is it clear? So whatever I just mentioned till now, is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
No, not making. Okay, this is also an art. How to make notes is also an art. So instead of copying everything, this is the tendency for all of us. If you don't know anything, if you don't know how to make the notes, you will copy everything. You will feel like everything is important for you. Instead of doing that, if you are reading about an article, what is the issue? First understand that. What is that issue? And what is the background of that issue? Just identify what is the background of that issue. Mostly it will be there in the article itself. Then what are the key points? When you're identifying key points, it's very important to note down the facts, data, keywords, etc. Why no? When you are actually writing your main answers, when you are including these facts, figures, data, and etc., no, the evaluator will feel like, okay, you have that content. You know about that particular thing because you are justifying it with certain data. So that is important. So make sure that you take down this data. Then UPSC angle. Why? What is this UPSC angle? Okay, this one belongs to which general studies paper? This particular article belongs to this which general studies paper? If I'm asking you a question, if there is a news, because elections are going to happen in many places. So if there is a news related to election commission of India, okay. So where should that news go? Will it go to general studies one? Will it go to General Studies 2 or General Studies 3 or General Studies 4? In which area it will go? What is your understanding? General Studies 1, General Studies 2, General Studies 3 or General Studies 4? So obviously something related to, election commission will come under Indian polity. And it is, if it is coming under Indian polity, definitely it is a part of General Studies 2. Okay, so how I am getting this idea? Because I know the syllabus. So you should also have an idea about syllabus. Syllabus understanding is very, very important. Don't neglect syllabus. Without syllabus understanding, you should not be able to go further. So make sure that you read syllabus every day. Download it, print it, paste it somewhere that you are seeing every day. Okay, that is important for you. And keep notes short and revision friendly. That's another major area. I already told you about that. Instead of copywriting everything, instead of copying everything, just make it as very short bullet notes so that when you are going for a revision, you should be able to recollect all this information. Okay, so please do that. Then use keywords and value additions like Supreme Court judgment, government schemes, reports of Niti Aayog, United Nations, World Bank, or data, statistics. All these are important for you. Okay, because why I'm saying all these are important for you, because I know the syllabus. When you also understand the syllabus, no, you will also say that okay, these are all important for you. So make sure that you read about or you take notes about all these concepts. These are all coming under the priority areas, priority topics. So have you got an idea about smart note making? Have you got an idea?
Yes, sir.
Some common mistakes to avoid while taking notes, while going through the newspaper. Certain mistakes definitely you will make certain mistakes, and these are some mistakes that you can actually avoid. Reading the entire newspaper, like I already told you, it's a waste of time. It is not required for you. You may have to read around 15 to 20 articles on the day. That's it. Now, no not making. Okay. People will feel like, okay, reading is enough. No, like I can just go through it. I'm just reading it. I'm understanding it. Okay. And also our brain will tell you, like, okay, when you are going through a particular topic, the brain will say, like, okay, you understood it, no? It's okay. But frankly speaking, maybe after 2 days you will leave it. You will forget it. So if you are forgetting that, where will you go and revise it? There comes the importance of, so make sure that you take notes. Whatever happens, take notes. Okay. Then another important one is I'm reading newspaper. When people are asking you, so what are you doing? I'm reading newspaper. I'm going through the current affairs. It's very important. It's 2 to 3 hours we are spending for that. Is that required for you? No, not at all required for you, because you have a lot of other things to do. You have your academics to go through and you have the other subjects to study. So make sure that you limit the time. And one more thing I can tell you, like when you are reading newspaper, you will become more and more confident. That's for sure. In your class, you will be able to perform really well. In your class, when teachers or when students they're talking about certain things, you will have something to contribute because you are aware about what is happening. Okay, so spending 2 to 3 hours daily, don't do that. Ignoring editorials, because that is another major area where people feel like lazy reading. Okay, it's editorial is like it's a big one, big article. So you will feel like, okay, oh, I can't. I don't need to go through it. You will have the tendency, but make sure that you read it, because that will help you to perform really well in these prelims as well as in the mains. How mains? It will help you how to have your own perspectives regarding various perspectives regarding a particular problem, how to present a particular problem, a particular topic in the answer sheet. You will get that quality from reading the editorials. Another important thing is to know about CSAT examination. In CSAT examination, one major area is English comprehension. And if you read this one, if you have the habit of reading newspaper, it will definitely help you in English comprehension also. So don't ignore editorial. Not linking with syllabus. Another major thing is like, okay, you're all reading newspaper, but you're not making any connection. Every day, it's like an activity that you're doing every day. You just read newspaper. That is not the thing that we need, because I have already told you that always have that intention in your brain, in your mind. that you are a UPSC aspirant and you are actually doing it for UPSC purpose, UPSC preparation. So always, whenever you read a particular article and a particular news, or when you are taking notes about a particular topic, make sure that you connect it with the static syllabus. Okay, this means about election commission. Election commission. So it will be coming under Indian polity. It is connected to Indian polity in this particular section about the election commission. This article, specific article about election commission is listed in the syllabus. So it is actually related to that. That kind of a connection, that kind of a linking is very, very important. Okay, I'm telling you in very simple terms right now. Once we go further, no, I'll explain to you okay, how to do that in a highly effective manner. But these are the things that you need to keep in mind when you're actually reading the newspaper. And these are certain common mistakes that people make while they are actually reading newspaper. Now, coming to the highlight page. Okay, highlight page. Okay. Think like a UPSC examiner. Always, when you're reading something, no, think like a UPSC examiner. UPSC examiner means in two ways you can look at it. One who is actually making the questions, okay, and one who is actually evaluating your answer in two ways. If you think like a UPSC examiner, when you're reading an article, you can feel like, okay, how they are going to ask the question from this. You will be able to do that. But what will give you that strength? What will give you that skill? Your understanding related to PYQ. Okay, previous year's question papers, if you have analyzed it properly, if you have gone through it multiple times, you will know that how the UPSC is actually framing questions for you. Okay, so make sure that you have very clear understanding regarding the previous year's question paper. And I'm telling you, you have enough time to do that. Okay, so please do it now. It will be really helpful for you. So previous year's question papers, once you understand about it, okay, in our effective strategy techniques, no, we are clearly have given you how to go through the previous year's question papers. So make sure that you go through previous year's question papers. Then when you see a particular news, you will, okay, in this way they can frame this question. You will have that idea. Another one is like, so when you are reading the newspaper, you can also frame like, okay, how your answer should be in the mains. Okay, in the mains, how should I present this as an answer? What type of question I can expect and how can I answer this one? So think like an example. Ask yourself, can this be asked in prelims? It can or it cannot be. So maybe or may not. You can decide. You can ask yourself, can I write this in mains answer? This particular point, this particular fact or this particular information given here, can I use that in the mains? Ask this question. Can I use this thing? Ask this question. And it will be easy for you to do that. It will be easy for you to frame your questions. It will be easy for you to come to a conclusion about that particular topic. Now stick to one newspaper. Otherwise, it will take too much time. Either you can go with Hindu or Indian Express. Most of the aspirants are going on with the Hindu newspaper. So make sure that you can also go with the Hindu newspaper. If it is available in your college or in your library, well and good, just go and understand about the news every day. Or if you can actually afford to, get it at home, make sure that you get it at home. Okay, or in hostels, make sure that you get it in the hostel. But it is important. Choose one newspaper, the Hindu, preferably Hindu. And you can complement with monthly current affairs also. Like maybe Hindu newspaper can miss certain information which are already there in the Indian Express. It can happen. So how can you compensate this one? Because after every month you can see that there are a lot of institutions which provide us with monthly current affairs. Just go through the monthly current affairs if required. I'm not saying that you have to go through it. Why monthly current affairs? No, because it's a consolidated one, and it is actually a consolidated one. It says that okay, these are the important topics for you as a civil service aspirant in the last month. If you get an idea about it, then it is easy for you, right? And it's a revision for you. And even if you have missed certain topics, then you will be able to get it in the monthly current affairs. So these are the most important things that you need to understand about the newspaper reading. So clear? You're able to follow me, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Okay. So that's it about the idea or how what are the important steps that you need to take. What are the do's and don'ts about newspaper reading? Okay. What are the priority areas? How do you identify the priority areas? All those information I have shared with you right now. Now I'm planning to give you a demo. Okay, a live demo on how to identify certain news with some examples we will be able to. So this is today's newspaper. Okay, the Hindu newspaper, today's newspaper, and it is an e-paper. So I'm going to show you certain news which actually came in the front page of the newspaper. You just tell me, okay, what news is relevant for you as a UPSC aspirant. Based on your understanding, you can actually tell me that. The first news is Israel won't hit Iran gas facility again. Wrong. What do you think? Is it required for you?
Yes, sir.
It is required, but not the points about this one. They are not attacking the Iran gas facility. That is not the point here. But it is important because of the broader picture of the war. War is happening between Israel and Iran. So that in on that area you can actually utilize this one. Okay, because gas facility, natural gas, all those things are really important. These are all resources of a particular country, and how these resources are becoming a part of this particular war. That is also you need to have an idea. Okay, for that you can read it. Then Iran creating an approval process for allowing ships through Hormuz Strait, intelligence firm. So in this one, what you need to have an idea. This one, which is the keyword here. What? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
The Hormuz right.
Almost right. Very good. So now what you have to do, you can read this. That is one area, but identify that in a map. That is the most important one. Then your picture will be very clear. Okay, Hormuz Strait. Where is Hormuz Strait, and what is the relevance of this Hormuz Strait? Understand about it. Okay, now there is another important one. FTA talks with Israel. GCC countries may be delayed. FTA means Free Trade Agreement talks with Israel. So maybe important for us. Okay, you can just go through it, you can read about it. If you're finding something is really important, you can read. Stock markets crash over 3% as oil price spikes to $114 a barrel. Okay, it is important. Why? Because it is an economic news and it is going to affect the entire world. Okay, so you have to have an idea. You have to have an idea, very clear idea about it. And there are certain, highlight newses here in this area also. Okay, you can read about it. Now, coming to the states. Okay, this is mainly talking about the in various states what all things are actually happening. Okay, and majority of the things which are actually given here may not be important for you, but make sure that you scan through this. Okay, I'm not going into each and every aspect of this, but make sure that you scan through this. HC appoints fast track court to hear Zubin case on daily basis. So now Zubin case, instead of Zubin case, your understanding should be like what High Court appointing a fast track court. What is this fast track court? Okay. Okay. On what basis High Court can appoint a fast track court? That idea you need to have. Your question should be like that. Okay. Then just coming to a news article one. Okay, Supreme Court reserves verdict on ambit of industry. Or Modi Jaishankar calls for a dialogue as strikes escalate. New education bill is constitutional over its Congress. This is a little important because you have to have an idea about what is new education bill. It is not you're not going to understand about the viewpoint of the Congress. You're not trying to study the viewpoint of the Congress, but your understanding about what is its constitution, education bill, and what are the advantages and disadvantages. Those disadvantages you will get it from this particular article. Okay, so that one is important. Then MEA receives request for consular access to 6 Ukrainian nationals. So what is MEA? Ministry of External Affairs. Okay, consular access. What do you mean by consular access? What do you mean by a consulate? Okay, so those understanding you need to have an idea. Then unfenced border with Myanmar in focus after arrest of 7 foreigners, which is a problem. Unfenced border with Myanmar. Unfenced means there is a problem with the border management, right? So this one you need to have an idea because it's a part of internal security also. Okay, not only internal, external security also. Right. So just read about it. What is that? Okay. What is the border regarding Myanmar? So which state is actually sharing border with Myanmar in India? This idea you need to have. You're getting my point, no? You're getting my point. How to look at the news? Are you getting
Yes, sir.
that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Doraisamy named India's ambassador to China. We can understand about it. India's ambassador to China. You know about our relation with China is not that great. Okay, always there are some conflicts going on between India and China. So in that context, we are actually appointing an ambassador to China. Just understand about it. And now, who is an ambassador? Ambassador is an IFS officer. And if in future, once you clear UPSC examination, if you would like to be a part of IFS, then you can also get an opportunity to be an ambassador to some other country. Okay, that is also important. Okay, I'm just going to the next one. Science, okay, it's related to health, women and tuberculosis, a story of deprivation, discrimination, and death. Once you're reading it, no, you get some clarity regarding what is this tuberculosis disease and how it is actually affecting women. Okay, and all those, I mean, you are getting a broader picture. That is the importance of Hindu newspaper. So you get a broader picture, like healthcare seeking, that area they'll be addressing. Social emotional impact of this one. Misdiagnosis and late diagnosis regarding that. So these are all certain things which we will not think about when you are just seeing about women and tuberculosis issues. We are not going to think about all these matters, but here they will very precisely, step by step, they will be actually addressing that. They will. So this will give you a structure in your brain. So once you are going to a particular topic, you will be able to structure it effectively. Okay, and all these will come through practice only. You go through it, and that's why I'm telling you when you're reading it, just read it with intention. It is not just to read and understand it. No, with intention. What is that intention? You are preparing for UPSC examination, and each and every thing that they are giving in this newspaper is important for you. Okay, and the way they are portraying that is important for you. The way they are classifying that is important for you. With that intention, you need to approach the newspaper. Very, very important. Now coming to editorial page. Fire and fury. Donald Trump's miscalculation in Iran is hurting the whole world. Just read about it because already this news is actually escalated in different various ways, and you can see that everywhere it is actually getting discussed. So go through it. You will get some points related to international relations and which can be used in your answer sheets. Okay, just you will get the various perspectives of people. You will get Donald Trump's perspective. You will get the perspective of other people. The Benjamin Netanyahu, okay, Israel leader. So all those information you will get. Now, new GDP series starting the path ahead. So what is this new GDP series? You have to have an idea about it. Okay. Mainly coming with the from the statistics point of view, from the economic point of view, you will get a lot of statistics here. On February 27, 2026, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation came out with a press note on new series of GDP estimates and related aggregates for the financial years 2022, 23, 23, 24, and 24, 25. So these are all information which you can actually use it in the later stages when you're writing the answers. And here you can see a lot of, data. Okay, so go through it, understand about it. Okay, that will be helpful for you. AI powered tax governance in India and its challenges. So we know that AI is one of the trending things, and it is now it is an era of AI. And now AI powered tax governance, okay, and its challenges. So one on the one hand, you can look at it from the perspective of its advantages, and on the other hand, what challenges it is actually going to pose to this country. So this is what I'm saying. When you are reading newspaper every day, no, your understanding, your confidence level, everything changes. Everything changes. You as a person will change. Your the way you present certain things will change. With confidence, you will be able to portray it. So that is what I'm telling you. Reading newspaper is that much important in our life, especially for a UPSC aspirant. Now, losing the way, ISRO must fix issues before launch of the next second generation satellite. Now, what is that fix? What is the problem they're talking about? Now, here, when you're talking about ISRO, no, ISRO itself is you need an abbreviation for that. Okay, so all those things you will get a lot of like that, lot of abbreviations you need to understand from here. IRNS, IF, okay, NVS 01. So what are all these things? Because these are all important for us. It's a part of science and technology. You have to understand about it. So read about it. Don't worry because it is not a single news. It will keep on coming. Okay. You will have its own repetitions in various months. You will be able to see that. And that time, no, will be registered in your brain. But make sure that you go through it. That's it. That is more important for us. Now, how far should governments go in using AI? Okay, so this is also a question related to the present circumstances because everywhere people are using AI for making assignments, for evaluating papers, for everywhere they're using AI. So when it is going in this way, in this fast manner, how what changes it is going to create? Okay, what challenges it is going to pose? So all those things are actually discussed here. Very very important. Now text and context, oil, power, and politics of disruption. Okay, if you just go through it and see if it is required for you, then if it is required, if you feel like okay, some of this information can be taken, definitely you can go through it. Then coming to business, then coming to foreign relations, okay, foreign international relations. Hezbollah says it is battling Israel's advance in Lebanon. No, not that much important, but the places are important for us. What is Lebanon? Where is Lebanon? Where is Israel? What is Hezbollah? That you need to understand. US may unsanction Iran oil already being shipped. So, what is the sanction related to that? Okay. Then Iraq, Kurdistan is becoming the new front line in a widening Iran war. So what is this Kurdistan? Where is it located? What is the relevance of Kurdistan? What is the importance of that particular place? It, all these things are important for you. Okay. So just this is the way you are identifying the news. This is the way you are identifying the information from the news. So one more thing I can tell you, Iraq Kurdistan, this particular one, where is it coming? It will come in General Studies 2 International Relations paper. Okay, Hezbollah thing is also coming in General Studies 2 International Relations paper. Now coming to an editorial page, okay, then also on this one, International Relations, GDP series, it will be a part of the economy, General Studies 3. Now coming to ISRO, it will be part of General Studies 3, that is Science and Technology. And coming to the States one, we can see that um, HC appoints fast track court here, reviewing case on daily basis, a part of the High Court, which is actually dealing with High Court and the justice system in our country. It's a part of the Indian polity, which is coming in General Studies 2. So this is how you should be linking it with the syllabus also. Okay, clear? Have we got an idea how to look
Yes,
at
sir.
the newspaper effectively?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will do this. We will do this again and again because you won't get that clarity in the first session itself. So I'll make sure that I'll take the newspaper reading sessions again and again with another example. Okay, so that's it regarding today's session. Do you have any doubts regarding what we have discussed today?
No, sir.
So thank you so much, and we'll meet today.